Where the damp mist gently drapes across colossal canopies that eclipse the sky, a pristine kingdom quietly draws its first morning breath. Welcome to the emerald shadows of the Amazon, a breathtaking, ancient wilderness. "5 a.m. in the Amazon basin. Before the sun fully breaches the canopy, the loudest voices in the jungle fall completely silent. A living biological machine has awoken in the emerald shadows. Armed with 13-centimeter talons and 350 kilograms of crushing force. Deep within the heart of the South American continent, the early hour remains entirely shrouded in a cool, thick blue mist. To the local indigenous tribes, this heavy fog is deeply sacred, revered as the breath of the jungle spirits. Scientifically, it is a colossal atmospheric river suspended high above the muddy earth. This relentlessly moist environment acts as the lungs of our planet, recycling billions of tons of water. In this muted dawn light, we see the nocturnal denizens quietly retreating. A sleek, spotted ocelot navigates silently over a bed of wet, dead leaves, blending seamlessly into the shadows of the giant ferns. Its incredibly sensitive vibrissae, its whiskers, twitch in the damp morning air. These sensors read the subtle acoustic shifts of the awakening ecosystem, allowing the feline to avoid the infinitely larger diurnal predators that will soon claim the ground. Towering above this gloom, pushing through the suffocating humidity like ancient monoliths, are the emergent Kapok trees. Indigenous cultures view these wooden giants as the physical pillars holding up the sky. Biologically, they anchor the entire canopy layer, their heavy branches burdened with an overwhelming biomass of hanging lianas and heavy epiphytes. It is upon one of these magnificent branches that our apex predator awaits. The Harpy eagle sits perfectly still, conserving energy for the brutal mechanical calculation ahead. The transition from night to morning is rarely a quiet affair. A heavy red howler monkey, silhouetted against the gray, overcast sky, unleashes a deafening, booming roar. Equipped with a highly specialized, enlarged hyoid bone in its throat, these arboreal mammals amplify their territorial calls to staggering volumes. This is an evolutionary masterpiece, a way to map the chaotic jungle geometry. By broadcasting these guttural shock waves for miles, rival troops can avoid direct, fatal physical conflicts. The acoustic space is claimed, but the true silent hunt in the canopy has only just begun. As the deafening roars fade, we must lower our gaze from the high branches to the damp emerald shadows of the forest floor. In my 10 years of tracking wildlife, I constantly see the same misconception. People assume that raw size and sharp teeth dictate true power in the jungle. But to understand this real-time ecosystem, we must look at the silent gears driving the machine. Down by the dark, winding tributaries, we witness another masterclass in collective intelligence. A highly social family of giant river otters breaks the murky surface, their sleek, waterproof pelage shining in the low-contrast morning light. They begin their day with playful, synchronized rolls. To an untrained eye, it looks like simple play, but this crucial behavior reinforces the vital social bonds required to coordinate their complex, tactical fishing strategies. Brains and teamwork outperforming brute force. Yet, the water's edge is undeniably the most lethal border in the entire biome. Resting completely motionless near the tangled roots, an armored black caiman observes the otters with a pale, unblinking reptilian eye. This massive crocodilian operates on a completely different biological clock. Instead of burning high calories, it utilizes an evolutionary trade-off of cold-blooded patience, allowing it to wait weeks or even months for a single, devastatingly successful ambush. As the morning mist finally burns away, a massive, muscular jaguar steps gracefully onto a fallen log. It is a creature of pure, calculated stealth, its stunning rosette-patterned coat fracturing its outline among the dappled shadows. above this stalking predator, highly active arboreal mammals like the black spider monkeys swing rapidly through the branches. Their energetic movements inadvertently scatter seeds, functioning as another silent gear that sustains this sprawling chronological ecology. A massive herd of collared peccaries emerges from the dense underbrush, moving with a ruthless, unified efficiency. Driven by an insatiable metabolism, these muscular creatures act as the forest's natural agricultural engines. They churn the wet earth with their dark hooves, their advanced olfactory systems leading them directly to buried roots and hard-shelled nuts. By aerating the soil and burying seeds, they literally plant the Amazon basin of tomorrow. Social bonding through scent marking ensures this herd remains an impenetrable, living wall of bristles, a collective force that even the most formidable ground predators must respect. Deeper in the humid understory, a giant anteater begins its relentless search for sustenance, sweeping its enormous bushy tail side to side. Locating a rotting log teeming with termites, it violently slashes the wood open with scythe-like front claws powerful enough to fend off a full-grown jaguar. It rapid fires its sticky tongue to consume thousands of insects, yet, in a stroke of ecological genius, carefully leaves the colony alive to regenerate. It is sustainable harvesting perfectly engineered by nature, but it must finish quickly. The clock approaches 11:30, and a punishing thermal shift is about to paralyze the jungle.
By 11:30 in the morning, the atmospheric conditions in the Amazon basin undergo a drastic, punishing transformation. As a field researcher, I've observed that the flat midday light creates a low-contrast profile across the biome, and the temperature spikes aggressively. The dense, overlapping canopy acts like a suffocating greenhouse, trapping the intense equatorial heat and immense humidity. Life in the rainforest must suddenly halt. The desperate need for thermal regulation fiercely overrides the instinct to hunt, feed, or move. The chaotic screeches and marching hooves surrender to a stifling, oppressive drone of millions of midday cicadas. Notice the tendons. The harpy eagle's foot acts as a biomechanical locking mechanism. Once it locks, it requires zero muscle energy to maintain its grip, a mechanical trap that cannot be opened. The sloth's absolute stillness is a desperate camouflage, but it is useless against a predator that maps the geometry of the branches. Even this living biological machine is forced into a mandatory truce with the sweltering climate. It rapidly vibrates its throat muscles in a specialized gular flutter, actively cooling its core like an internal biological air conditioner. In the mid-canopy, the brown-throated sloth finds itself completely paralyzed by the rising heat. Unable to sweat efficiently, the heavy mammal simply hangs upside down, panting softly with its mouth wide open. To move now would be biological suicide, risking a fatal spike in body temperature. In stark contrast, a vibrant toucan sits proudly nearby. Its massive, bright orange bill is a marvel of evolutionary engineering, functioning not just as a feeding tool, but as an incredibly efficient thermal radiator to manage internal body temperatures. Down on the dark forest floor, the massive herd of capybaras seeks salvation in a shallow pool of dark jungle mud, utilizing the wet earth as vital protection against lethal hyperthermia. Suspended above them, hidden within the water-filled cup of a massive green epiphyte, a brilliant poison dart frog finds its miniature oasis. It trades physical size for extreme chemical warfare. Its vibrant aposematic coloring serves as a permanent, deadly warning. Its skin is laced with toxic chemical compounds, ensuring it waits out the heat in absolute safety with no natural predators. Resting on a dark green leaf in the deep shade, a blue Morpho butterfly slowly opens its delicate wings, revealing a breathtaking, iridescent blue surface. These intricate, microscopic wing scales do not contain blue pigment at all. Rather, they reflect light perfectly, creating one of nature's most dazzling optical illusions. Deeper in the canopy's shadows, an emerald tree boa adopts a highly compact posture to minimize moisture loss, tucked tightly in symmetrical coils. Like the entire ecosystem, it exists in a state of suspended animation, waiting for the afternoon breeze to finally break the equatorial oven.
As the afternoon pushes past 2:30, the turning of the earth finally brings a subtle, incredibly welcomed relief. A gentle afternoon breeze begins to cut through the oppressive humidity, signaling the end of the thermal stupor. As a field researcher, this is my favorite time to observe the chronological ecology of the Amazon basin. The entire ecosystem reawakens almost simultaneously.
High in the canopy, the heavy red howler monkeys stretch their stiff reddish-brown arms, hurriedly tearing fresh mouthfuls of green leaves to replenish the energy burned during their long immobility. The vibrant toucans close their massive bills, no longer needing to dump heat, and begin preening. Down by the river, the sleek, giant river otters plunge gracefully headfirst into the dark waters, revitalized and ready to resume their highly coordinated foraging. With the temperature dropping, the odors trapped near the damp soil begin to rise, mapping the forest floor for the ultimate ground predator. The massive jaguar stretches its incredibly long spine, its heavily padded paws ensuring every step is mathematically flawless and entirely silent. Catching the scent of the frantic peccary herd, the feline lowers its belly to the earth, initiating a lethal, calculated stalk through the emerald shadows. But the true climax of the Amazonian day is building hundreds of feet above the ground. Waking from its thermal stupor, the heavy, brown-throated sloth extends one impossibly long arm, reaching painfully slowly toward an adjacent vine. In doing so, it commits a fatal geometric error. The sloth crawls agonizingly slowly across a thin horizontal branch exactly in the center of a massive open canopy gap. Without the thick tropical foliage to obscure its silhouette, its only defense, cryptic camouflage, is entirely neutralized. In this unforgiving biome, death doesn't always come to the weakest, but to those who stand in the wrong place. High above in the emergent kapok trees, the living biological machine ceases its gular fluttering. The harpy eagle's deeply hooded, terrifyingly dark predatory eyes dilate widely, locking an unbreakable stare entirely onto the exposed spine of the slow-moving mammal below. Every massive muscle beneath the bird's gray plumage is coiled completely tight. The apex predator is now fully primed for violence. To ensure absolute surprise, the eagle drops absolutely silently from its high perch, spreading its massive 2-meter wingspan perfectly flat to glide without making a single flapping sound. Banking smoothly through a rare shaft of warm, muted afternoon light, the eagle expertly weaves through a hanging cluster of lianas, demonstrating breathtaking aerodynamic maneuverability. It secures an unbreakable grip on a moss-covered mahogany limb directly above the open gap. The eagle has secured the ultimate tactical high ground. The trap is set.
twilight begins to fall across the Amazon basin, casting breathtaking silhouettes against a bruising, muted orange and blue sky. The flamboyant flocks of scarlet macaws descend gracefully to claim their nightly roosts, their vibrant colors vanishing into the gloom. Down below, the nocturnal chorus of crickets and frogs begins to rise. In the massive, open canopy gap, the brown-throated sloth stretches its heavy, furry body out entirely, clinging helplessly upside down. It is organically incapable of mounting any physical resistance against a high-velocity impact. Up on the mossy branch, the living biological machine drops its heavy chest extremely low to the bark, drawing in one final, deep breath to fuel the incredible muscular explosion required to break bone. The Harpy eagle throws its 2-meter wings backward. It initiates an incredibly steep, completely silent vertical dive. Hurtling downward through the fading twilight like a massive feathered missile, gravity becomes its ultimate weapon. At the very last millisecond, the apex predator violently throws its scaly legs entirely forward. Its terrifying 13-centimeter talons lock wide open in the exact, perfect anatomical position. The late twilight climax is absolute. The eagle violently slams directly into the thick, mossy fur of the sloth's exposed back, colliding with a devastating kinetic force that instantly knocks the breath from the heavy mammal's lungs. Standing terrifyingly dominant over the deeply pinned prey, the colossal bird violently pushes its massive chest downward. It applies the full weight of its body directly into its yellow toes, generating exactly 350 kilograms of crushing force. The talons slowly drive completely through the dense muscle, specifically targeting the spine. This entire biological empire operates as a deterministic machine, completely dependent on the moisture provided by the colossal atmospheric river above. That invisible current constructs the canopy, sustains the sloth, and conceals the eagle. As global thermal shifts alter precipitation patterns and deplete that river, these silent gears will irrevocably jam. Nature demands nothing. It simply recalibrates to the unforgiving physics of consequence, mechanically erasing whatever can no longer adapt. The canopy belongs to the eagle, but as total darkness consumes the Amazon, an even older, colder predator awakens in the flooded waters below. To see how the black caiman hunts from midnight to dawn, step into the black rivers right here.